Hey everyone, Tyler from DuelcasterMage.com here, welcoming you to another Duel Commander match. This time I'm piloting Kumena, Tyrant of Orazca, a new card from Rivals of Ixalan. This deck is Merfolk tribal, obviously, and a lot of cool cards become playable that didn't really have a home before, like Curse of Bounty and stuff like that. This deck's focused much more on synergy and building to an overwhelming board position rather than raw power from individual cards. And there's a link to the deck list in the video description, so just click that little show more button under the video to check that out. And my opponent is running Archangel Avacyn. This is actually Rarer Monsters from the Duel Commander Discord. He's my opponent, and he took it in a much different direction than I did, which is really cool to see, I think. I'd rather, each commander have multiple builds than something really stock and obvious every time. So strap yourselves in for an awesome match. Okay, game one, I have a land-heavy draw, but I have Path of Ancestry, which is one of the best lands, and we'll scry future lands to the bottom, so I keep this. I also have a couple plays in turn 2 and 3 if I want to. This Path of Ancestry is really nice. I basically get to scry anytime I cast a Merfolk spell. And so on his turn 2, he plays Smuggler's Copter, so that's a scary card. Don't have a lot of flying in this deck, so that's kind of has free reign to just keep attacking as long as he can supply it with creatures. I draw Daze, so I do not play Harbinger of the Tides, and instead have an opportunity to cast the Daze on his Kinjali Sunwing that he plays, which is extra nice because it means Smuggler's Copter can't attack this turn. All right, my turn 3, I play the Jadelight Ranger, and I get effectively 3 scries if I want to, but I see Merfolk Mistbinder on top the first time, and I just want to keep that card on top. That's a good lord, so I just keep that and end up with a 4/3 Jadelight Ranger, the Alex Bergini Invitational card, as it were. In his turn, he plays a Harsh Mentor, which is a really good card against my deck. Kumena himself has 3 activated abilities, so and I have a lot of activated abilities in general, but he doesn't attack with Smuggler's Copter for some reason. I don't quite know why. I play Merrow Reejerey and scry Coralhelm Commander at the top, and this card is just one of the best lords in the deck, playable in Legacy even. So that makes my Jadelight Ranger a 5/4, which maybe he was planning to block with a Copter, and then he couldn't really profitably do that. Anyway, he plays Contested Warzone on his turn, which is a really risky land, but can be good. So he attacks with the Copter this time, and then plays Kari Zev post-combat. So getting some resistance from my opponent, but I still like my chances so far with all my powerful 3-mana lords. Follows up Kari Zev with a Flame Slash, targeting my Jadelight Ranger, so that thing goes down, but at least I have Reejerey in play still, which is potentially even better. So here I go, Merfolk Mistbinder, and the Reejerey lets me untap a permanent, so I can keep untapping this Path of Ancestry every time I play a Merfolk and get like a ton of scries. So this time I see Swift Warden on the scry, and I like that card, so I'm going to keep it there. I'm going to keep untapping Path of Ancestry, however. Harbinger of the Tides lets you bounce a creature when it ETBs, a tapped creature, that is. And then Coralhelm Commander is a really nice one of the older Merfolk lords from Rise of the Eldrazi with level up. And considering Reejerey's ability to keep untapping lands, I'm just going to keep doing that so I can level up my Coralhelm Commander right off the bat. This time he kind of wants to trade with, he chump blocks Kari Zev on Merrow Reejerey so he doesn't lose this contested war zone. Here comes the Harsh Mentor again, and Smuggler's Copter gets in. I don't block because I have enough power to kill him next turn, and I think he needed me to block there to finish off the Coralhelm Commander with some burn to have a chance, and given that I didn't do that, he scoops it up. So game 2, I'm on the draw again. This time I keep as well because I have turn 1 play and some counter magic. I fetch a Tropical Island and then play Shaper Sanctuary, which is, I found this card to be really solid. It's either drawn an average of like 3 cards a game, or your opponent warps the game to where your opponent can't really play around it very well. But my opponent plays Spirit of the Labyrinth on his turn 2, and this is a very strong card against me considering how much card draw I have in this deck. So I just play Kosi's Trickster on my turn 2, as well as Mutavault, so I can attack in future turns. And this way I'll threaten to at least block his Spirit of the Labyrinth. On his turn 3, he plays Flicker Wisp, which doesn't really do a whole lot other than his 3/1 flying beater, and given my hand, I don't really want to subject myself to being beat down at that sort of rate at the moment, so I just daze it. He doesn't do anything on his turn 4. On my turn 4, I play Kumena and pass. And then he goes Cavernous Souls into Baneslayer Angel, so that's a pretty frightening card. Here I play Silvergill Adept and forget for a moment that I can't draw 2 cards because of Spirit of the Labyrinth. Baneslayer attacks, and I figure I might as well just Cyclonic Rift that thing, because I had the Memory Lapse, but if he played any other Angel, he could just use Cavernous Souls and I wouldn't be able to counter it with Memory Lapse, so I figure I might as well just do that. And then I draw a card at the end of his turn with Kumena, but he goes War Leader's Helix in response, which is a nice play because I can't draw the double cards. Like, he gets a card off the Shaper. I get a card off the Shaper Sanctuary, but not the one off Kumena. And then on my turn, he trades with Silvergill Adept when I attack, and then I play Reef Shaman and Birds of Paradise. All right, here comes Sarkhan the Dragon Speaker. Planeswalker we don't often see in Duel Commander, like too much anymore, but it's a pretty solid card. And here's a good opportunity for me to Memory Lapse that thing, since it's not an Angel. I can actually counter it. On my turn, I draw Coralhelm Commander, but have enough mana to play Prophet of Krufix, which is a card you really want to get out as soon as possible. On his upkeep, I use Reef Shaman to turn Cavernous Souls into a Swamp, so that I kind of feign having Counterspell. So I think he might be incentivized to, cast his commander, but now I think he was worried about a counterspell, but now he knows I don't have it because I emptied my hand. All right, on my turn, I spend it leveling up Coralhelm Commander. I could have played Kumena here. Maybe that was the play. I kind of forget that Avacyn has Flash and she could ambush all my attackers, which would have probably, if I would have remembered that, I would have played a little bit differently there. He does play Flash in the Avacyn and then followed up with an Earthquake for 4, and here's really where I make my biggest mistake. See, I figure, like, if I play Kumena, flashing Kumena with Prophet of Krufix is going to die, even if, the Coralhelm Commander buffs it up, but I forget the Coralhelm Commander is flying, so I could have flashed in Kumena and have it survive. Instead, I have to, like, trade with Avacyn and then play Kumena on my next turn, which is much worse than having a 5/5 flyer and a 4/6 Kumena. And his turn, he plays the Sarkhan once again, and he goes for the 4 damage on Kumena, and luckily the Shaper Sanctuary lets me draw a card, so that's some compensation at least. All right, my turn, I use Rishadan Port to tap the Sacred Foundry because I just want to minimize the potential outs he has to me attacking Sarkhan with Mutavault. He plays Lightning Helix. I let Shaper Sanctuary draw me a card and then decide to counterspell that, so because I want Sarkhan dead. So Mutavault takes down Sarkhan, and I pass the turn. Here comes the Baneslayer once again. This time I don't have any answer whatsoever, it seems. And then Rampaging Ferocidon as well. Not really a combo with Baneslayer Angel, but he's at a high enough life total where it's not really that big a deal. On my turn, I draw Thrasios, which could be good in this late in the game. I have at least 8 mana, so I can use his ability twice per turn. Luckily, I also have enough mana to play Kumena and Thrasios in the same turn, so I set myself up pretty good, as long as I can stay alive a few turns off when that Baneslayer hits. But then he plays Harsh Mentor, which is extra harsh because there goes my plan of activating Thrasios and Mutavault and anything else. I draw Hidden Strings, which is normally a pretty good card, but here in this situation, it's not that great. The best use I can have of it right now is just tapping his 2 dudes, attacking in with Kumena, the creature I cipher onto, and then untapping some stuff. And here I make a pretty boneheaded mistake and untap the lands where I should have untapped the creatures, so I'm just straight up dead. So I just concede, partly in shame at that point. Okay, so we move on to game 3, the deciding game of the match. I am on the play this time, and I see a pretty good hand. I'm going to take some damage off this Yavimaya Coast, it looks like, but I have a 1-drop and then two other 1-drops to follow it up on turn 2. On his turn, he just plays a Plains and passes. I draw Force of Will, which is pretty nice. Then I played a Shore Stalker and the Skull Clamp. And he goes Spirit of the Labyrinth and is making me regret not just equipping the Skull Clamp right away, because now Skull Clamp is basically useless. I do have Kumena though, which not only blocks Spirit of the Labyrinth nicely, but it lets me draw a card through the Spirit. As long as I use it on his turn, I can tap the 3 Merfolk to draw a card. So I feel like I'm in okay shape. I draw Edric, which is, again, quite poor against the Spirit of the Labyrinth. He goes Earthquake for 1, and here I draw a card in response with Kumena because my guys are going to die, and I decide that losing 3 creatures is probably not in my best interest, so I force a will the Earthquake. But unfortunately, he has Honor of the Pure to follow it up, which makes his Spirit of the Labyrinth 4/2, so I cannot trade with that any longer, and I have to take a bunch of damage. I'm at 9. I equip my Kumena and then attack with Llanowar Elves. He goes attack with a bunch of things. I chump block the Spirit, but then draw a card with Kumena. Lacking lands at the moment. He plays Ajani Vengeant, which is quite scary, especially if I'm at 6. Then he taps down Kumena, and I just concede because he has a 3/3 dinosaur flyer that I can't block, and then Ajani could deal 3 to my face, so even if I chump block the Spirit of the Labyrinth, I was going to die there. So yeah, I think Kumena is a ton of fun to play, and a good example of a deck where synergy can sometimes trump raw power. Do you think Kumena has what it takes to be competitive in Duel Commander? Maybe you think my build can be improved upon? Let me know in the comments. I love to hear and respond to your thoughts, and it makes doing all this worthwhile for me. And if you thought this video provided value for you, one way you can thank me is by subscribing to my channel, Duelcaster Mage. I post Duel Commander related videos every Thursday, so check back every week for more awesome content. Thanks for watching.